to another episode of Sweating with Cameron, aka CarQuicks. We got something today. It's been a minute since I've been back on here doing a car install, but that's because I've been on my podcast game, okay? My podcast game has done something that I talked about in the beginning, and that is I'm going to the SEMA show. We are here because I'm putting something on the GR Corollas, okay? You see it right there in all its glory. The Toyota Sienna. We're a Toyota family, okay? Minivan, one of the greatest cars ever. I'll be doing a review on that very shortly. Now, this car here is gonna have something change fairly big, and it deals with the exhaust right there. Yes, today we're gonna test an exhaust out. We're gonna put on one from the good gentleman over at SXTH Element. You saw the unboxing, or maybe you didn't. It's right here. If you didn't see that video, me just opening it up. You'll see it when I take it out in the garage. Let me set this car up. It's, oh man, it rained. As you can see the overcast above me. So the humidity levels are doing this, okay? Rising above my brow. And that's why sweat is coming down this, okay? So we're gonna hurry up and do this. It shouldn't be that long. I've already done the mid-pipe, I've done the downpipe. Those are way more intricate than what I'm about to do. We're dealing with the catback exhaust on this car. I don't know what it's gonna sound like. I've already shown you what this car sounds like with my downpipe and mid-pipe, but for the sake of this video, I am going to put a sound clip of what it sounds like when I start it up, because I gotta move it somewhere on the driveway. So let me set this all up. We're gonna jump back in later when it's all ready to go. Peace. All right, I'm gonna move this car somewhere like an angle right there or something. I don't know. What type of angle? What type of angle am I gonna finesse? I know you're probably thinking, why don't you just move the van? Well, I don't feel like it, okay? You heard that, you're probably like, yo, downpipe and mid-pipe is all I need. This car does sound very good from the factory, especially if you add like that downpipe, that mid-pipe, or just a mid-pipe itself from 2J. Sounds real good. You may not even need what I'm about to do. I'm doing this because I want to do it. So we're gonna put an exhaust on this car and we're gonna see what it sounds like, and everybody's gonna be happy and merry. I'll be back when I set this stuff up. Oh, jacking this car up. Jacking up cars is so fun. But the hardest part of this whole entire thing is up. Car's jacked up. SXTH Element, stainless steel. This isn't titanium or anything. Dual outlet GR Corolla exhaust. You see the burnt tips, you see them right there. You see the stainless steel T304, high quality welds, everything. I purposely wanted one that had a muffler like this because of a certain tone that I believe this exhaust achieves. Everybody's gonna do what they want to do. It's not all gonna be the same. Over there we see the resonator, the other pipes there. This is for the heat shield for around the diff. I should be able to pull this off in under an hour. Okay, we're gonna start off with, you're looking at the whole exhaust right here. This is the valve that we talk about. Many people talk about it on the GR Corolla. I need to disconnect this one, but it's fairly simple, see? Hold up, gotta do one other thing. All right, cool. That is now detached. I gotta get myself all the way back there to get to those end bolts right there. See the bolt right there? That is a 14 millimeter. I'm using a 1/2 inch one to get this off. Easy peasy. You got the tools to do it. Spring bolts, see that? Save those for later. Listen, I'll be frank. It's mad hot. All right, so the main part of this exhaust, the mid-pipe part is already detached, already took that off. Now we got to get this exhaust off, okay? Let's do that. The only thing holding this thing up right now is the exhaust hangers. And I got to go and remove, dang, I forgot to remove that one in the back. My gosh. Hold on. Oh, okay, okay. Hold up. Okay, so we're gonna, I will say one thing. I do not have an exhaust hanger removal tool. So this might be, this might be a lot happening right now. We're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna see if it makes more sense for me to just remove this exhaust hanger bracket than it is for me to fight with this thing. Yeah, this ain't gonna be nice. And I already could see, I can already see the foolishness of this. All right, got one side off. That wasn't as terrible as I thought it would be. I'm finagling. I'm finagling. Can you hang for a little bit? Can you hang for a little bit without destroying my car? I'm trying to put up a fight. Man, I don't got time for this, yo. Yeah, we're still fighting with this. So I'm battling this last exhaust hanger. The other two came off. Remember the one in the rear, that came off easily. But this center one's acting up. Hey, we got progress. This is coming down now. Got to get that last exhaust hanger. Listen, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. See this exhaust hanger? This is the one in the center. Now there are some bolts, as you can see back there, that you can unbolt. You just can't get into them because the center exhaust tip's in the way. I don't have an exhaust hanger tool, but these hangers, I mean, I have over 30,000 miles. They're very malleable. They're not super stiff. It's not something that you can't get off. You just have to get some type of, that WD-40 I showed you, spray some inside around the crevices. It'll finally seep its way to the back, and it'll basically force you. You'll be able to use a lot of force to pull towards you, and it'll get it over that lip on this part, and this exhaust thing will come down. Woo! See that? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Exhaust is coming on down. Let me not mess up my mic. The exhaust is out. The main part is done. Man, when I tell you that last hanger was trying to become the last samurai, okay? For real. OEM exhaust, as you can see, all the way there. We gotta take off this valve. This has to come off, though we're not plugging it in because this system just keeps that plugged in, but it's not a controlled valve, it's just a dual one, simplified, even though there are aftermarket ones that include this from OTL and a bunch of other companies like MagnaFlow as well. So we're gonna take this off. We gotta take off these exhaust hangers here. I think there's one left on the car that I had on there. The exhaust here has to be assembled for a few pieces. So I'm gonna start going through that, and I'm gonna show you that process. The center part that shows that blocks off the plate for the third tip that you will not see, I have to put that together. So let's go do that. A couple things need to be assembled here. So this piece right here is where I'm going to put the exhaust valve. They give me some supplied bolts to bolt it into here, and then it's going to kind of cinch up under the car. We'll do that in a second. First, we're going to put together this piece, this is the piece that kind of, come up a little. This piece right here is the block off plate for the center exhaust tip that no longer is going to be there. So there is some hardware for that. So this is a piece right here. Plastic, covers up the center exhaust tip, the third one that's in the middle. This bolts up to the back where the exhaust hanger was. We're going to unbolt that. We're going to use the same bolts to put this back on there, and we're going to be done. So we got to attach this piece to this right here. Little bolts right here, little packaging, 6 element. Keep the branding going. Tighten it up on the back right there. Put this on there. That is it. See? Bracket is going to go on the back of the bumper. This is going to go up at the top. It's going to keep it blocked so that whenever you look at the back of the car, you just see this little plate in the middle. Keeps it nice and clean. I am going to get some other stuff. I thought about putting like a little third brake light in here. I don't think about we'll talk about that later. Remember I told you we got to take this off. Just 10mm bolts that I'm taking off. So we got to put this on here like this. And if you ever wanted to know what all the hoopla was about when it came to this car and this exhaust valve, that's what this piece is. This thing turns when plugged into the computer to dictate when it opens that center exhaust flap and when it closes it. See, it just turns it If you unplug this, it sends a code to the computer and it needs this plugged in even if you're not going to use it. This is all 10 millimeters. We're just bolting this down. So this is done. The little center plate is done. Now we're going to get to putting this thing on the car. Okay, remember that exhaust hanger I talked about right there, the little black bar you see? That's going to come down. All right. That's the whole bracket piece you see there. That comes out with these bolts. That is the block off plate, as you can see right there. So the center tip used to be right here. Now we're just blocking it off with this piece right here. And in order to get that there, we are going to utilize the same bolts and bolt this all up back into the car. This is all just by hand. Like I said, use your own discretion. You know how tight some of this stuff should be. You know how tight it shouldn't be. Nice and secure. This ain't going nowhere. Looks like from the rear. Nice, clean, subtle, flows nicely. Can't even see the bolts or anything. It just looks like it was OEM. Later on, we're gonna have the tips on there, but that gives you a view of what this looks like from the back of the car. Okay, so the next part of this whole thing, remember that motor that we have plugged in over here? That is actually gonna mount up right here. It's 10 millimeter. We're using these same bolts, so don't toss them. Take this piece here, and it goes like, hold up. Yeah, it makes more sense because it's not so close to the other area. So we're gonna put these bolts back on. You saw what I did. I just wrapped it around the piece right there. Keeps it up and out the way. Still has a little bit of room so it's not cinched up extra tight, but it won't drop down and hit the exhaust from down here. So right here, I gotta go get the other hanger and we're gonna go to the back of the car. We're down under the car. Remember the piece we showed you earlier? All this goes right there like that. Over here, where my hand is, that is where the exhaust little hanger is, so that's got to go back onto the car. We're going to use those same spring bolts I talked about earlier. Those are going to go right in here. Since Alright, and that's done. See, bolts are on, nice and snug. The exhaust hanger's on there. Now we got to add the rest of the pieces onto this exhaust. Okay, we are now on to the next phase of this. This is the resonator. So the resonator needs to go on, slides onto this piece right here, and it says to slide as far as it can go. Now, one of the things it talked about was that it said to get a piece or something to kind of hold this parallel to the ground so that it's not tilted like that. See how it's tilted? Kind of want it straight like that. I don't have a little exhaust hanger thing, so I'm gonna see if I can use a jack stand. Hold on. So if you don't have, you know, people have lifts, they have the little things that spin up and, you know, you can do all that. So we're gonna put this glove on there to protect it. So if you see, we gotta tighten these bolts right here, one right there, and then one down there. I believe they said these are 16. Are you serious? Man, hold up. All right, hold on. We gotta make a little bit of an audible real quick. So just pay attention to the fact that you want to have these bolts on the same side. I just noticed that right now. They say push it as far in as you can go. So that's now level with the ground, pretty straight. I'm looking at it from the rear of the car, from the front of the car, I mean. All right, so we're gonna hand tighten this bolt right here. Okay, so that's nice. That feels good. Now we're gonna get the next piece, this piece right here. Now, if you notice, I'm getting near to the diff right here. So the next piece is the one that kind of wraps around it and keeps it from getting overheated. Got heat shields and everything. So shout out to all my driveway warriors. You know, the ones that ain't got lifts. You know, we just got to get to it how we got to get to it, you know. We can't just, you know, we can't just have a lift doing, you know, whatever we want. We got to get to it how we got to get to it. Okay, so I'm only, like I said, I'm only doing a hand tight. There is a torque spec to do on this. The next piece is this guy right here. See, hold on, let me get you all in the frame. See, this little metal piece. But gotta make sure that's cinched up as far as you can go. There is another little piece, little slip joint that we gotta put here. Make sure it goes on there. Same point. They say to make sure it has like ½ an inch of space between the subframe. These two bolts right here, I don't want to bolt anything down or tighten it up too tight because we got to do some adjustments. As you can see, we got the end of this here, and I got to get the whole muffler piece into this car. So, all right, airplane flying by. Here's the main muffler. We got to get this thing up on and somehow attach to this pipe there to see what our measurements are and how it aligns. And we need to get on these exhaust hangers. There's someone, I need to put one right here, and I need to do another one in the center right there as well. So we're gonna get to that in a second. I'm trying to see how to record what I'm about to do without smacking my camera down for the 900th time. I need to put this exhaust hanger on. This one right here needs to go back onto the center one there. I put some of that WD-40 silicone lube in there. See that? Easy peasy. Probably the easiest thing to do first is to get it on that exhaust hanger. There we go. See, we got to get that hanger on too. That goes there like that. Hopefully this side is easy too. All right, that's on there. Let's see how this is gonna work. To kind of get back to what I was talking about, right here is where they're talking about giving yourself a ½ inch. So I'm trying to see if it works by me twisting it or everything. Once I tighten everything, we should be straight. So that's all set. I'm just gonna hand tighten a few of these areas right here just to keep it from going anywhere. All right, so I found out what the torque. So down here on these bolts right there, all the bolts down to those slip joints, that is 40 foot-pounds. Make sure when you're putting exhaust on to have slip joints, you're pushing the pipes as far into those joints as they can go. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's a torque wrench, 40 foot-pounds. You're doing those slip joints right there. Like I said, I'm not really gonna show all this part right here. Bolt those down. As you can see, I use a jack stand to keep it level. We're gonna put the rest of this on. We're gonna put the exhaust tips on because that's the more exciting part of this whole thing. And then we're out of here. There we go. All right, one of the final ones that we're putting down to the torque specs in case y'all wanted to know. Drop that down to see how it looks. Everything is solid. Okay, we're going to go into this portion right here, into this install, and that is the final piece to this entire puzzle, and that is the exhaust tip portion. Yes, of the exhaust tips. So we're gonna have to put this on like so. Okay, so this is where we're gonna adjust the exhaust tips to look appropriate. All right, that's in a good spot. I'm gonna see if I need to adjust anything else. Yes, sir. Done with the exhaust tips. The hardest part about any exhaust is the fact that to align the tips, like at some point you just become cross-eyed, but we are done. You see the exhaust tips right there. Let me get out the shadow so you can see the blue. Let me get out here. You can see the blue there. Maybe from a distance you can tell what I'm working with. You see that? So we're done. I'm gonna do a driving impression. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a startup right now, but there's gonna be another video where we really just do more higher revs and all that. I'm exhausted. I've been sweating through this shirt. I'm tired now, but I do want to hear the car. So let me clean this up. I'm gonna go get my son too. He'll be in the video to see the reaction because he's been trying to come outside to see what I've been doing the entire day. But it's a surprise to him because, like I said, those type of tips are what he wanted the most. So I did something kind of for him because I could have went for stainless steel and had the really clean OEM plus type of look, but I wanted to do that for him. So let me clean this up. We're gonna do a startup or do a driving impression. Yo, if you have been watching this and you haven't liked and subscribed, like I said, stop going to Costco and getting the samples. That's why y'all gotta scan your car for the food court now, because you've been going in there and not getting a membership. So subscribe to the channel. Peace. That's just a preliminary for the exhaust. I'm gonna do a better video, better sound. You're probably blowing out the speakers. You hear it idling. Thanks for watching. Let me repeat itself again. Subscribe to the channel. I'm out. Peace.